Thank you for joining this talk. So I'm Professor Tim Leung. I'm one of the Associate Dean of Science. For the next around 20 minutes or so, I will try to introduce our school to you. In case if you got any questions, we actually have 3 different webinar sections in early November. If you're interested in joining, please register, and then we will try to explain to you the admission process and try to answer your question right away. So for the next 20 minutes, what I'm going to do would be to introduce our campus to you, and then I will also explain to you what's the special about our science program. Now, what you're seeing here would be an overview of our whole campus. Now, our campus is not that big. What you can see is pretty much everything about our university. Maybe I should try to introduce you some building related to our science. One would be on the right bottom corner, so you will see a big new building. So that's our CYT building. Now, that's a new building very related to School of Science. Now, I understand, well, you might be interested in learning science, and in particular, maybe programs like chemistry, programs in our life science divisions, or maybe physics, then you definitely need to do lots of labs. So if you're doing, if you like to do labs, then you might spend some time in that new building. That building is actually consists of many new laboratories for our science students. So you will spend some time over there to do different types of experiments and try to write reports and things like that. Now, the building right above that, so as you can see, is slightly different from the style of our main campus. So that's our business school. Now, don't think business school has nothing to do with you. Now, business school, well, of course, you go over there to study business. Now, but then don't think it has nothing to do with the students in the School of Science. One very special thing about our university is that we are using a credit-based system. Doesn't matter what program you are enrolling in, you always got something called free elective credit. Now, you can use those free elective credit to do anything you like in the university. Well, it's Hong Kong, so if you think you have to do business after graduation, then you might want to spend maybe several courses, maybe around 10 credits in business school to learn things like accounting, marketing, things like that. Well, probably that will help your future career. Now, up to a point, you might fulfill what we call the minor requirement. So, except a major offer in the School of Science, you might also get a minor degree from the business school. Within HKUST, we get around 23, 24 minor programs for you to choose from. You can, based on your own interest, to do anything you like. Maybe some students think, well, I paid 40,000. Well, okay, depending on whether you are a local student. For local students, you are paying 40,000 Hong Kong dollar as a tuition. Well, it's slightly a little bit more if you're from international, but then it's still affordable to most of you, I guess. Well, I pay 40,000 a year for to HKUST. How come I just got one single major, maybe another minor once I graduate? So we actually got quite a lot of students doing double major. So once you got a first major, maybe in the School of Science, then based on your interest, you take extra courses to fulfill the second major. Then by the time when you graduate, it's possible to get maybe double major, 2 majors, and then with some other minors. So it's really up to you. So that's a good thing about HKUST. It's very flexible. Now, another building related to HKUST is the one right on the top of the hill. Okay, so that's our IAS building. So that's our Institute for Advanced Study. Now, you might heard HKUST is so famous on research. So, but don't worry, we will not force you to do research. We understand that you might be interested in learning science, but then doing research is something different. But if you are interested in trying to do research, then we provide lots of opportunities for you. One is through the IAS. Now, IAS is not something, it's not a jail holding you inside to do research, but then it's actually provide a very nice environment for us to invite famous professors from around the world to visit us. Now, we actually have different programs at IAS, so we have professors visiting maybe 2 weeks, a month, but then sometimes we're able to recruit professors with a contract with HKUST so that they would spend around 6 months per year here. We might also be able to recruit professor full-time to HKUST. I will mention about some names a little bit later. Then you will see IAS is actually providing extra opportunities for students and also professor to understand what is the important question to answer in the world. Okay, so what you're seeing here is some new development. We actually got plans to have some new student dorm. Now, if you look at that map, so the shaded region, so there will be 3 new student dorm to be built over there. So it's right next to the IAS, and then it's probably one of the best built on campus. So if you got admitted to HKUST next year, then by the time when you graduate, you will get a chance to stay there for maybe a year or so. Now, another thing we offer, it's a very flexible, wide range of majors for students. What you're seeing here are some major programs offered in the School of Science. Now, except those maybe a little bit more traditional programs like physics, mathematics, chemistry, we also have 3 different life science programs, including the biochemistry, biological science, and biotech. Now, we also have a new program called Ocean Science and Tech, OST. If you know HKUST well, last year we still got a program called Environmental Science. But this year, we actually established a new department called Department of Ocean Science and upgrade this ENVS, Environmental Science program, to this Ocean Science and Tech. We will add a new component to the Environmental Science program, that's the oceanography. So if you want to know a little bit more about oceanography, together with the ecology, then the new program will offer you many new opportunities. We also offer several John School programs, including the BIBU, Biotech and Business, MAEC, Math and Econ, another new program called DSCT, Data Science and Tech. This one is a joint school program with the engineering school. It's a joint program between the math department and the computer science department. There's also a joint school program called Risk Management, RMBI. We also offer several opportunities within the Interdisciplinary Program Office, IPO, including the EVMT, Environmental Management, IIM, and also the dual degree program. So if you get admitted to the School of Science, you got a wide range of majors to choose from. A signature program is called the IRE. So if you have never heard of it, so maybe I would spend several minutes on that. So IRE stands for International Research Enrichment. So our school, the School of Science, is actually providing extra resources for the students to do research. We would try to train students to be future scientists. Okay, so there are so many things we offer to those students, including we provide courses for students to teach you guys how to do research. In the first year, we have courses. Professor will visit the class and then introduce the research to the students. Now, so in the first summer, students can actually start your own research. So you might get a chance to visit the lab of different professors and then try to see what type of problem he's solving, okay, and then try to develop your own research interests. So after another year, so by the end of the 3rd year, so by the time of the 3rd year, then we provide something very special, and that's what we call the summer research internship. Because by that time, you should get some research interest and then maybe get some research result. So there are several places you might want to visit. Well, I do a certain research topic, and then I know, there's a really nice research group in a university somewhere overseas. So I want to spend some time to work with that particular research group. So we will try to connect you to that group so you can spend a whole summer over there to do research. If you're interested in physics, for example, you will know a place called CERN, right? So it's a place to do particle physics research. Then we actually got students spend a summer over there to do research. Now it's very different from typical semester overseas exchange. You are not going over there to take courses and then apply credit transfer and things like that. You are actually visiting a research group to learn new things. Okay, so that's what we can provide. Now you might also vary. Well, if you make connection to overseas, well, I don't have enough money to do that. It's so expensive to go CERN. Don't worry, our school actually provides extra resources. We cover all your expenses. If you go some places, you might actually get some saving from that. But don't worry, so money is not a big issue. One thing we try to see is how the program, how successful the program is to look at the PhD offer by the time when our graduates leave HKUST. What you are seeing over there are two blue tables. It collects some recent graduates where they are going for the PhD. So as you can see, it's very popular and good offer. So they got full scholarships from different good university to continue the PhD offer. So maybe we will just wait for another maybe 5 or 6 years and see how many of them actually becoming a professor and coming back to HKUST to teach. Now, if you're interested in some new tech and want to see if I join HKUST, what types of new science knowledge I can get, so you can actually visit our IAS webpage. Now, what I'm collecting here are some recent seminar or conference topic. So from those, you got a chance to see what our professors are interested in. One very interesting topic is called AI personalized medicine. So don't think medical research only happens in medical school. Even if you come to School of Science, you got a chance to learn all this new technology in doing medicine research. Now, AI in medicine research, okay, so that actually reflects how interdisciplinary our professors are. We are interested in trying to combine different technology, catching up with some cutting-edge technology to do our own research. So AI, if you're interested in AI, machine learning, don't think you got a chance to learn those from, say, engineering school only. So even in the School of Science, you got plenty of choice. Another topic, statistical machine learning. So once again, it's about AI, machine learning, data science research. So that's something our professors are interested into. Now on the right-hand side, you are seeing 3 of our faculty members. Professor Gunther Ullmann, so that's a very famous researcher in the mathematics. So his own research interest is on inverse problem. So what is inverse problem? One example I always mention is that the invisible clock from Harry Potter. So it's the same technology in inverse problem. So what you try to do is to see if you can make certain, say, a box to hide certain things inside, right? So the research interest of Professor Gunther Ullmann is to develop a mathematical model to understand what would be the physical properties of that box. Okay, so that's one example of the inverse problem. Another inverse problem he's interested in is to try to invert the velocity inside the Earth from the seismic data. Okay, so from earthquake, then you got lots of different measurements on other places on the ground, and then would it be possible to invert for the velocity inside and try to estimate or guess the structure of the Earth? So that's another example of the inverse problem. If you're interested in cosmology, in physics, then you should know we actually have a full-time professor, Professor George Smoot. He actually is a Nobel Prize winner, 2006 in physics. His research is on cosmology. He's another example that our IAS is able to recruit a world-famous professor to move to USC. So if you're interested in those things, then if you're here, then you got lots of chance to talk to and interact with the professor. He will be here full-time, 12 months every year. So if you want to talk to him, feel free to do so. Now in the middle, so we also have Professor Tang. Now, if at your home, if you're using OLED TV, OLED TV, then it's his invention, it's his baby. So, so that's an example showing that, well, it's not only science knowledge, but that if you are interested in applicable science, okay, or even engineering, so we actually provide you different opportunities. You got plenty of chance to learn those. What you're seeing here are some newspaper clipping. I'm sorry that there are lots of Chinese here, but then what you're seeing are some reports on the newspaper, our new invention. We got research in brain research, Alzheimer's disease, different types of cancer research. Okay, so well, in fact, our former Dean of Science, Professor Nancy Ip, so he's one of the VP of the university right now. He actually got a national research lab on brain research. So she is interested in doing, investigating the development of Alzheimer's disease and try to see the effect of the brain protein. So if you are interested in visiting her lab or maybe work with her, then if you join HKUST, you got lots of chances. Now, because of all this research excellence, no matter how you actually rank the university, we are ranking pretty high in the world. Okay, not only in Asia, but then it's actually ranking pretty high. This is a sign I don't want to spend too much time on. But very important thing is you have to know our university is very young. We are only celebrating our 28th anniversary this year. Okay, so such a young university with such a great ranking, meaning that if you join us, you got lots of chance to learn all this cutting edge knowledge. Okay, so this is something you can think of. We encourage students to go international exchange, but I don't want to spend too much time on this. But what you can see here are our exchange partners in the world. Okay, so we encourage students to go exchange. I understand that some of you might worry about, okay, so what can I do after graduation with a science degree? So what you're seeing here, some statistics on our graduate placement. Students in the School of Science really like to study. Okay, so around 20% of our graduates pursue further studies after graduation. So they will do different types of master programs, PhD program in the world. So that's what you're seeing on the right-hand side. But except further studies, around 1/4 of our graduates will continue to work in the education sector. Now, including the teachers, okay, so in the local high school or even international schools in Hong Kong. But that's not the only job you can do. So don't limit your career choice by your major. Our graduates can do things like business, IT. It really depends on what have you experienced or what types of preparations you have done in the 4 years when you're at HKUST. So what you're seeing here are some company who hired our graduates. So don't think life science students can only go to places like WWF, Ocean Port to work with animals. So as you can see in the collection, they can do pretty much anything they like, okay? So the most important thing is your training as a science student is very important for many types of jobs. So we do have iBank, for example, come here to, in particular, recruit science students as an intern, okay? So the important thing is whether you have enough experience, whether you really know those things, okay? So except the scientific knowledge, do you like to work with numbers, play with programs? So that, I guess that's what the iBank is looking for. Okay, so don't think iBank will only go to business school to recruit students, recruit interns. Okay, so even science student, you actually got a better training in the quantitative field. Okay, now what you're seeing here are the admission route. And now, depending on your background, so we might have students from different routes, including the JUPAS, so that's local students. We also have admission for the direct entries, meaning that you got some international qualifications, including IB, GCA level, and etc. We also have students from senior year, meaning that you are actually doing an associate degree in a local community college. So depending on your background, so there are different admission routes. Now, for the student from JUPAS and also direct entry, we are actually providing 5 different admission programs for you. They include the IRE, International Research Enrichment, MAEC, okay, Math and Econ, BBU, Biotech and Business, so there are 3 programs. And then there are 2 other choices, including what we call the Science A and Science B. Now, what is Science A and Science B? Science A is a collection of all those mathematics and physics-related programs, including mathematics and physics, and MAEC, data science and tech, R&BI, and several interdisciplinary programs. Now, so that's Science A. So you will first get admitted to the Science A first. After the first year, then you got 9 different majors to choose from in your second year. Now, but then if you're interested in learning or enrolling into some biology or chemistry related program, including BCB, biological science, biotech, chemistry, BBU, and those are several interdisciplinary programs, you will first get admitted to Science B first. After the first year, then you will declare one of those major, okay? But then, because of your difference in the background, I will not be able to explain those technical details to you at this moment. So please register our webinar section either on November 6th or November 7th. Okay, so according to what you're seeing here on the screen, then I will tell you for JUPAS students, and I will explain to you the admission formula, so how we rank you guys, and then and I will show you some statistics on the past admissions numbers. Okay, so then you join that section. Now, but then if you are having some international qualification, then I will explain to you the admission process in the second webinar section, and I will explain to the senior year students, SY students, in the third webinar sections on what things like credit transfer and then the admission quota and things like that to you on the third webinar section. So maybe my time is up, so maybe let me stop it here, and then I will see you in 2 weeks.